Hello, my loves. As always, I hope that this video finds you well and in excellent spirits. So, this is the September 2024 monthly astro forecast for the sign of Virgo. Now, this video is definitely for Virgo rising. However, if you are a Virgo sun, feel free to watch the video as well. And as always, if you are cross watching for that special Virgo in your life, then you have definitely come to the right place. So, without further ado, let's get into it. All right. So, if you're new around here, my name is Mel. I'm a professional astrologer and I'm the founder of Divine Feminine Works, where I help people unlock their divinity and discover their magic. This channel is everything astrology, spirituality, and manifestation. I do live weekly astro forecasts, plus a whole bunch of other great content on this channel. So, if you haven't already subscribed, consider doing so if those are the things that interest you. And so, every month I do sign specific videos with the monthly astro forecast. They're typically exclusive to my channel members, also known as roommates. However, I always do a freebie for the sign of the month. And since we are in the month of September, it is all about Virgo. And honey, I am not mad at that because I'm a Virgo sun. It is time to turn up. It is time to celebrate another revolution around the sun. So if you are a September Virgo, even if you're an August Virgo, this is definitely for you. I hope that your season is finding you well. I hope that you are living it up, and I hope that you are getting ready for a revolution around the sun. I love this time of year. All right. So, speaking of this time of year, let's talk September, but specifically, let's talk about the energy for the month. Just a brief overview of the energy for the month. So, during the month of September, the sun begins in the sign of Virgo and then moves into the sign of Libra. And for you as a Virgo, specifically a Virgo rising, this is an emphasis on your first house of self and your second house of money and material possessions. So when I say that September is all about you, I'm not kidding, because the astrology is putting a spotlight on you and your money. So when the sun is in the sign of Virgo, this is all about a new revolution around the sun. Whenever the sun is either in our sun sign, so maybe you're not a Virgo rising, but you're a Virgo sun, this still applies to you because it's your personal new year. But when the sun is transiting your first house, it's like a rebirth. It's a do-over. It's a new revolution around the astrological wheel. And so it's everything about you. It's about your appearance. It's about your outlook on life. It's how people see you. It's a time to really revamp yourself. And Virgo energy is very much known for that. Virgo is organizational. Virgo is about improvement and perfecting things. And what better thing to perfect than yourself? And so when the sun is in Virgo, you have that energy at your disposal to revamp, get back on track, right? When the sun moves into Virgo, at least here in the Northern Hemisphere, I feel like it's such a stark contrast between the fun in the sun, Leo, summertime energy, and then we get to Virgo and it's like, all right, it's time to get back to work. It's time to get back on track. It's time to really get our lives back together. And so you have the opportunity to do that. So if you want to do a detox, right, maybe you've been eating with reckless abandon during summertime. It's time to really detox, get healthy. It's time to get in shape, right? This is a great time as a Virgo rising or even a Virgo sun to begin a new health regimen, to begin a new workout routine. It's also a great time to get your mind right. Virgo is ruled by Mercury, and with the sun currently in Virgo, this is the time to get your mind right. Plus, Mercury is also going to be in Virgo as well, as I will get into in a second. But yeah, this is the time to sort of mentally declutter, get your mind right, and get focused because, again, it's your personal new year, so it's time to move forward. And then speaking of moving forward, as the month progresses, the sun will move into the sign of Libra. And this is going to highlight your second house of money and material possessions. So you spent Virgo season kind of revamping and getting back on track. And then by the time Libra season rolls around, you're like, all right, what am I going to do about my money situation? How can I get more money? Libra is a sign of relationships. And so when it comes to money making activities generally, as a Virgo rising, you should realize that no man is an island and teamwork really makes the dream work. And so if you find that you're someone who's very solitary, right? Because Virgo energy is very much emblematic of the hermit, right? We love to do things ourselves. A lot of times we feel like people don't do things as well as us, so we prefer to just do them ourselves. However, when it comes to money, especially if your money is lacking, find the people who can help you. Find the people that you can work with. Partnering up with people will very much help your bottom line as a Virgo rising. All right. So don't forget that. And so during Libra season, this is the time for you to sort of come out of the cave, come out of hermit mode, and really interact with people. Like I said, Libra is the relationship sign. And so by networking, interacting with people, being of service to people. Now, Virgo energy is a service oriented sign. And so in being of service to people, that sort of helps you develop relationships that can obviously help your bottom line. Now, the second house isn't just about money. It's also about our values and our self-worth. And with Libra being the relationship sign, our self-worth and what we think and view about ourselves is reflected back to us in our relationships. So if you're feeling yourself, you're probably going to be attracting people or have people around you who are feeling you also, right? So there's very much this element of, all right, I'm revamping myself and I'm getting my money right. I'm getting my values in order. I'm really cleaning house internally and personally. That is the energy of September for you. And again, I love this time of year for you specifically because it is your new year and it's really time to set goals, right? It's time to really think about, okay, what do I want these next 12 months to look like? What am I trying to achieve this year? Really spend some time this month trying to figure that out or trying to at least put some sort of plan into place that you can execute over the next 12 months. All right, so that's September in a nutshell. Now let's get a little more specific and talk about the astrology for September. All right. So the first thing that I immediately notice about the astrology for September is the fact that it's sort of all over the place. So typically, you'll likely have in any given month, you'll likely have planetary energy, which is concentrated in like a certain area. For instance, for you, I said that, September has an emphasis on your first and second houses. So typically, let's say in any other given September, you'd have multiple planets in the sign of Virgo or Libra. And so you'd have a very pronounced emphasis on your first and second house. However, this September, like everything is all over the place. You've got planetary energy in your ninth house, fifth house, first house, seventh house. Like it's literally all over the map. And so that means like the practical application of that is that there are going to be different areas of life that are going to be emphasized at any given time during the month. And that can feel a little overwhelming. It can feel like whack-a-mole almost, right? If you're familiar with that game, it's like a mole comes up and you got to whack it. And then another one comes up. Like it can feel so random. It could feel a little overwhelming. But, that's life sometimes, right? However, I will say this. My advice for you for the month of September is twofold. Number one, you're going to want to prioritize whatever comes up. Like I said, there's going to be a lot of stuff perhaps emphasized, a lot of things that are calling for your attention, right? Prioritize what needs your attention in the moment and what's pertinent right now. Now, notwithstanding number one, number two is do not ignore anything that comes up either. Even though it may feel a lot, even though it may feel overwhelming, do your best to handle, process, take care of whatever comes up. Okay. Because September is going to be one of those months where it seems like a lot, it seems overwhelming, but there's always a method to the universe's madness. All right. So we kick things off with Uranus going retrograde in the sign of Taurus. And this is happening in your ninth house of higher education and long distance travel. Now, Uranus has been in Taurus since 2018. And since that time, we have been really jolted out of our comfort zone. Taurus is a fixed, stable sign. Think of the symbology of the bull, right? It's stubborn. It's almost immovable, I should say. With Uranus and Taurus, it's like, all right, think of like a bull in a china shop. It's just wreaking havoc. It's really getting you out of your comfort zone. And so in this area of life governed by the ninth house, which is higher education, long distance travel, spirituality, even, you have been sort of jolted out of your comfort zone. Now, Uranus is not going to be spending too much more time in Taurus. By the end of 2025, Uranus is going to be moving into Gemini, and that's going to be a whole other ball game, right? And so over, the last 6 years or so, while Uranus has been in Taurus, we've had very cyclical cycles of, Uranus direct, Uranus retrograde. However, we're nearing the end of this transit. So this is one of the last Uranus retrogrades that we're going to experience in our lifetime, essentially. And so this is our sort of last chance to really go within and be intentional about moving ourselves out of our comfort zone. And with all of this happening in your ninth house, I also call the ninth house the house of adventure, because this is the house where you embark on new adventures, where you embark on experiences that will broaden your horizons, that will expand your mind. You're literally being pushed out of your comfort zone, right? Perhaps even physically. The ninth house governs long distance travel. So this could have you traveling to different places, experiencing different cultures, experiencing different beliefs and ideologies. And with Uranus going retrograde in Taurus, this allows you to be intentional about that. So over the next couple of months, because Uranus is going to be retrograde in Taurus until January of next year. So this is kind of a slow burn kind of a thing. However, again, it allows you to be intentional about moving out of your comfort zone and expanding your mind and experiencing new adventures in life. Thereafter, we have Pluto going retrograde in Capricorn, and this is happening in your fifth house of romance, self-expression, and children. Now, Pluto retrograde in Capricorn is actually a pretty big deal. So Pluto made a move earlier this year and moved into the sign of Aquarius, and this is a huge deal. This was the premier event, astrologically speaking, of 2024. And Pluto moving into Aquarius is heralding a new age. It's a new generation. It's a new era, right? Now, Pluto is actually going to be dipping back into Capricorn between September, so meaning now, and November of this year. And then Pluto will not return to Capricorn for another 200 some odd years. All right. So again, this is a big deal. Now, what does this mean exactly? So think about this, okay? Pluto first entered Capricorn back in 2008. And since 2008, your fifth house matters, meaning your romantic partnerships, not even partnerships, your romantic life, your dating life, your ability to express yourself, your relationship to or with children has changed dramatically. Perhaps over the last, how long is that? 16 years? Over the last 16 years, no, hold on. My math is not the best. So, yeah, 16 years. Maybe some of you, have had children since then. Maybe some of you, your dating style has completely changed. There's been a whole death and rebirth cycle that has happened in Capricorn. All right. Maybe even your criteria for dating people has radically changed depending on what you've been through, right? Pluto dipping back into Capricorn, it's like the last pass of the wrecking ball. Whatever is not meant to come with you into the future is going to be decimated for good. So let's say, for instance, you've had someone that you've been on again, off again with, makeup to breakup, right? If this is a relationship that hasn't gotten too serious, like you just keep rotating this person, y'all keep coming back together, by the time Pluto is done in Capricorn, you probably will never hear from that person again. Or now you're like getting ready to get married to that person. Like that is the level of change, profound change that Pluto would bring. And like I said, again, Pluto in Capricorn, last pass of the wrecking ball. So the next 2 months, you may find some really, I don't want to say severe endings, but you may find something that ends, in totality, that ends permanently, a door that is closed that you will not be able to open again. And I know that sounds sort of doom and gloom, but that's a good thing, because when one door closes, another door opens, a door that's likely more in alignment with where you are trying to go. So whatever transpires over these next 2 months in terms of your fifth house topics, if it needs to end, let it end. Or you may be experiencing a rebirth at this time. Either way, profound transformation is on the menu. All right, let's keep it moving. So next up, we have the new moon of the month, which is in your sign of Virgo. And this is going down in your first house of self. New moon's all about setting new intentions and planting new seeds. And with this going down in your first house, it is all about you, baby. It is all about revamping your life and doing all those things I talked about earlier. So if you're looking to start a new health regimen, if you're looking to have a new outlook on life, if you're looking to change up your aesthetic and the way that you look, plant those seeds at that new moon. It's also a great time to set personal goals. These goals don't have to do with your body per se, they can, but anything that you want to achieve over the next couple of months or even year, you're going to want to set that plan, at least get it down on paper or solidified in your head at this new moon of Virgo. Thereafter, we have Mars entering the sign of Cancer, and this is going down in your 11th house of friendship and goals. Mars is extremely uncomfortable in the sign of Cancer, okay? Mars energy is all about what you desire and how you go about getting it. And with Mars and Cancer, it's like Mars is typically very direct, very fiery. It's like, what is the shortest distance between point A and point B? Mars and Cancer is slowed down. Think of a fire. Think of a fire being washed out by water. You have a raging campfire and you just pour water all over it. That's Mars and Cancer. So needless to say, when it comes to your friendships, you may find that it's a very emotional time. It may be a time marked by a lot of passive aggressiveness. It may be a time where people aren't necessarily being direct in what they want from you or in the friendship period. This also has to do with associations. But most importantly, the 11th house is the house of goals, like your ambitions in life. And you'll realize that with Mars in Cancer, you can't necessarily go after your goals in a direct and forceful way. You kind of have to use your intuition, and you might find that your desires ebb and flow like the tides of the ocean. One minute you want something, the next minute you don't. You kind of vacillate in that sort of cycle, all right? So achieving your goals is going to be in a less direct way, but very much more in an intuitive way, all right? Keeping it moving. Thereafter, we have Mercury entering Virgo. And again, this is your first house of self. Now, remember, I talked about September is all about you, right? With Mercury in your first house, this is about how you think and how you express yourself. And being able to express yourself in a very Virgo sort of way is going to be, emphasized this month. And I know that you know exactly what I'm talking about when I say express yourself in a Virgo sort of way. Okay. Thereafter, we have the full moon of the month, which is going down in the sign of Pisces. However, this is a very special full moon because it is an eclipse. It's a full moon lunar eclipse. So September opens the door to eclipse season, okay, which is typically marked by a lot of intensity, a lot of illumination, especially because we're talking about a full moon lunar eclipse. Full moons illuminate and or culminate. So you may find that at this full moon, something comes to a grand crescendo, comes to a grand end, or you are literally seeing the truth of something, the unadulterated truth, okay? It can be very intense. Being that this is going down in the sign of Pisces, it's this energy of wrapping up. It's this energy of, things really coming to a close. It can also be energy that's marked by karma. So it's really important that you definitely pay attention to what comes up, what you're being shown, okay? Definitely going to be a sensitive and emotional kind of time because Pisces is a water sign. However, the information that you will gain at this full moon lunar eclipse will likely be very invaluable. Thereafter, we have the sun moving into the sign of Libra, which is going to highlight your second house of money, material possessions. So like I said before, this is the time when you're going to, get your finances in order and you're going to link up with people, work with people, collaborate with people who can help you build your assets. Thereafter, we have Venus moving into the sign of Scorpio, which is your third house of ideas and communication. Now, Venus isn't very comfortable in Scorpio. Venus rules money and it rules relationships, right? And in Scorpio, things can get very intense. Things can get very weird almost, okay? And in your third house, this is really how you communicate with people, particularly the people around you. You may find that your relationships with your neighbors or your relationships with your siblings are highlighted at this time. And there's going to be this energy of endings and beginnings. There could be this energy of strife. It could really highlight the not so good parts of those relationships. However, again, even when we experience negative things in our lives, those things serve as information for us to sort of process and then be able to move forward successfully. So take that with a grain of salt. And then finally, we close out the month with Mercury moving into Libra. And again, this is your second house of money and material possessions. So at this time, this is really going to highlight the communication that you have with other people relating to money, relating to assets, relating to possessions. This also highlights paperwork with respect to that. So this could be contracts, this could be leasing agreements, it could be a whole bunch of stuff. However, you will find that once Mercury goes into Libra, your second house of money and material possessions is definitely going to like heat up. There's going to be a lot of activity there. So if you're looking for more income streams, if you're looking to even make more money at your job or whatever, you're going to want to be very vocal. You're going to want to let people know who you are and what you do, and that will help your bottom line. All right. And that is the astrology for the month of September. So now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's get into some important dates throughout the month of September that you want to pay attention to. All right. So, as a Virgo, specifically as a Virgo rising, your chart ruler is Mercury. So, anything that Mercury is currently doing in the sky and anything that Mercury is doing in your natal chart will always be of utmost importance to you. So, the following dates represent the transit of Mercury throughout the month of September. Now, there are quite a few dates because Mercury is a speedy planet, and so it will always aspect all of the other planets quite frequently. So, whereas a sign like Cancer that's ruled by the moon really only has like two really important dates, the date of the full moon and the new moon, as Mercury, you will have quite a few dates of importance that will affect you the most. Well, you and Gemini, I should say. But these are the most important dates in September that you want to pay attention to. So the first date is going to be September 7th, and this will be when Mercury squares Uranus. Okay. And so this is going to be one of those days where you should definitely expect the unexpected. Things might necessarily not go to plan. Plans may be upset. There may be delays. There may be sudden changes. You kind of just have to roll with the punches on that date. Thereafter, on September 9th, Mercury will enter your sign of Virgo. And this is, to reiterate what I said before, this is going to be a great time to sort of plan out some goals for your next year. Thereafter, you're going to want to pay attention to September 11th. This is when Mercury will sextile Mars. This is going to bring opportunities to start something new, all right? So, whatever plans that you're trying to enact, whatever, new goals that you have, Mercury sextile Mars will give you an opportunity to put action to those plans. Thereafter, you're going to want to pay attention to September 17th. This is when we will experience the full moon lunar eclipse in Pisces. Now, this is going to be a date that's important to everybody, not just you, because it is a full moon lunar eclipse. All right. And again, this is going to be a date when, you're going to experience endings. You're going to experience illumination when it comes to your committed relationships and your business partnerships. So pay attention to what transpires around September 17th. Thereafter, you're going to want to pay attention to September 18th. This is when Mercury will oppose Saturn. Now, Mercury will be in your sign of Pisces. Saturn will be no, let's rewind. Mercury will be in your sign of Virgo, and Saturn will be in the sign opposite to your sign, Pisces. And so Mercury opposite Saturn is like wanting to, essentially for you, it's like wanting to change your mind or wanting to express yourself maybe in a new and a different way. And Saturn and Pisces may present situations where even though you want to express yourself differently, you may find resistance or challenges from your partner or from your business associations. Let me give you a perfect example. Let's say you are someone who is on YouTube, right? You have a fairly popular channel. You're known for a particular opinion, viewpoint, or niche, and maybe you want to deviate from that niche, right? However, maybe you've got certain brand deals. Maybe you have certain business associations that really rely on you and your audience to show up in a very particular sort of way. So even though you want to veer away from what you normally talk about or how you normally express yourself, you may find that your business partners may not necessarily be on board with that. That's sort of one way that this could turn out. However, That's definitely sort of what's on the table for that particular transit. And again, that's going down on September 18th. Thereafter, you're going to want to pay attention to September 21st. This is when Mercury will square Jupiter. Now, Jupiter is a planet of expansion, and Jupiter is currently in Gemini. So this is like expanding your mind, learning new things, sort of embracing new and different viewpoints. However, with Mercury in your sign of Virgo, this is you sort of sticking to the tried and true with respect to what you know. So the universe may want to expand your viewpoint, may want to show you different things, but however, you're still a little conservative or maybe even closed-minded when it comes to the reception of those things. So you may have a bit of a struggle or a bit of frustration with that. Thereafter, you're going to want to pay attention to September 24th. This is when Mercury will trine Uranus. This is another day where you're going to want to expect the unexpected. However, these are going to be good surprises. These are going to be happy surprise encounters. This could be brilliant ideas. Your intuition is going to be lit. This is going to be a really positive day for you as a mercurial sign. Thereafter, you're going to want to pay attention to September 26th. This is when Mercury will enter Libra. And again, this is your second house of money, material possessions. So at this time, you're going to want to communicate. You're going to want to be vocal about who you are, what you do, but it's also a great time to plan, particularly to plan with others when it comes to money matters. And then finally, you're going to want to pay attention to September 30th. This is when the sun will conjunct Mercury, also known as a Mercury cazimi. And this is happening in your second house of money and material possessions. And at that time, this is a very fortuitous kind of transit. So this could be really good news when it comes to money. This could be a really great idea, a money-making idea. This could be an introduction to someone who could really help you with your money situation. It's all in all going to be a positive day. And I love that for the last day of the month. All right, so now that we've gotten all the technical stuff, all the astrology, the important dates out of the way, let's get into a brief message for you from Spirit for the month of September. All right, my loves. So the card that I pulled for you for this month is the card entitled The Soul. It is number 9. It is associated with Virgo, and it is akin to the Hermit card in the Tarot. So everything about September literally is all about you, but more so about embodying who you authentically are, right? And just being very much yourself. Now, like I said before, or maybe I didn't say before, so I'll say it now. Virgo is a service-oriented sign. To a fault, Virgo prides itself on what he or she can do for others, how he or she can help others. And so there's always this focus on others. Virgo is very much wonderful in a management role, in a supporting role. And as great as that is, you cannot neglect yourself. And so there's something about September, not just because it's your birthday month or it's your season or because, the sun is in your first house and it's sort of a rebirth for you. There's always a time when we have to take the energy that we put forth and, give to everyone else, and we have to give it to ourselves. We have to be of service to ourselves. We have to be the main character. We sort of have to dim the lights on everything that we're doing for everyone else and shine a spotlight on ourselves. And for some of us, it could mean just doing things for ourselves as opposed to doing things for others. Or more likely, which is what I'm getting for this month, it's more so about being vocal with others with respect to what we need. And trust me, as a Virgo sun, I know how difficult that can be. It's like having to rely on other people for things can be a very frustrating situation. It can be a very frustrating endeavor because not only do people not do things the way that we do things, but often we feel like people don't care about us as much as we care about them. And so that's why a lot of times we're like, you know what, let me just handle it myself, or let me just do it myself. However, this is the month, this is the time where you're not just focusing on yourself, but you're letting people know, hey, I need help with this, or hey, I need you to do this for me. So there's this element of delegating power. There's this element of being vocal about what you need. There's this element about being like, listen, I understand that I'm usually in a supporting role for you. However, at this time, I need you to be in a supporting role for me. I need assistance with this. I need help with this. And not being shy about it or not feeling guilty about it either. right? That's definitely a thing for us. Even if we ask for help, we're doing it like biting our lip because we really don't want to do it. However, this is a month where it's almost like a month where all of that energy that we've been putting out is coming back to us in terms of service, in terms of assistance, in terms of help. So don't deny the help, and also be vocal about what it is that you need. And don't be afraid to be in the spotlight. This is your time to shine, literally. Like the cards literally say that. The universe is literally telling you, hey, this is your time. So use it wisely. And when I say use it wisely, I mean like you don't have to share the spotlight with anyone either. Like this could literally be a time where it is all about you. It's warranted, it's well deserved, and most importantly, it is necessary. So be yourself, ask for help, be in the spotlight, and enjoy your season. It's time to start a new revolution around the sun, and the best way to do that is to focus on yourself right now. All right, my loves. So that concludes this video on the September 2024 monthly astro forecast for the sign of Virgo. I sincerely hope that you were able to get at least one important piece of information that you can use going into this month. Speaking of this month, beginning this month, I'm starting a regular free workshop on how to read your natal chart, an introduction to how to read your natal chart. I'm doing this twice a month. It is absolutely free. If you are interested, the link will be in the description box below and will also be tagged to the video. I highly suggest you sign up for it. It's really informative and will really help you understand your natal chart, at least to begin with. All right. Now, also, if you're interested in sign-specific videos like this, again, these are exclusive to my channel members, aka my roommates. So if you're interested in more such content, consider joining the channel membership. The link will be in the description box below. And for information on all of my products and services, all of that is in the description box as well. So peruse at your leisure and, come check us out. Like I said, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. There's so much more to come. All right, my loves, thank you so much for tuning in. I wish you nothing but the absolute best for September and beyond, and I will see you in my next video. Take care.